Hi folks, so in this video I'm going to show you what to do when your waste level sensor starts beeping when it thinks it's full but you know that it's not. So this quite often happens. I quite often have a little bit of water goes in, you've been away on holiday for maybe a day, you know that there's not a great deal of water gone into the tank, but all of a sudden your alarm goes off and you get all the bars on the waste side of the display over the door, and the van thinks that the waste is full. The reason for it thinking that the waste is full is because inside the waste tank there's a series of prongs and they are sensors, and I think what happens is these sensors get dirty and the dirt, I imagine, conducts electricity where it shouldn't, and so the sensor gets confused. A bit of splash of water that you've put down the sink gets the probes wet, and then all of a sudden the probes send the signal to say that the tank's full when it's not. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to clean the probes under the van or in your waste tank, wherever your waste tank is actually. In my case it's under the van. So the first thing we need to do is we need to empty the waste tank. So I'm going to spin the van around so that I can get my waste side near the drain, and yeah, I'll drop the waste. So these are Collapz extendable hoses. I'll put a link to these in the description. I find them really good. So you just join them together, run them to the drain. Ow. So you might have noticed that the solenoid for dropping the water from both the waste and the fresh, they both failed over the winter, so I haven't got around to fitting new ones yet. So at the moment I'm using whatever means just to turn the little valve itself. So we'll just drain this water out, and then once it's drained out I'll probably need to turn the van around again, because we really need to get this on my van from the passenger side, because the level sensors are this side of the hole we need to access. So it actually makes it a lot easier if we jack up the other side. We'll use the levelling ramps to raise it. It's quite easy, and then we'll access the hole, the inspection hatch underneath the waste tank, and yeah, I'll show you how we clean those probes. Okay, so it's finished draining, so I'm just going to turn the valve off. Now, there's always going to be a little bit of wastewater in here, so I quite often just move this, put it onto the fresh drain, and just release a little bit of fresh through it, just to wash the pipes out. Just like that, that's enough. But the last thing you want is smelly pipes sitting in the back of your van. Okay, so got the van round the other way again now, so that I can access the waste tank from the near side. So on my van, which is a Swift Escape 674, I know that it's going to be easier to do it from this side. So to do this, I'm going to put a levelling ramp on the front wheel and the back wheel of this side, and that'll lift the van away from the floor to give me enough space to crawl underneath it. A note of caution before you do this: you need to be a good distance away from a wall or a car or any obstacles on the other side, because as you go up the ramps, because you're jacking both wheels up, you're going to have a lot of tilt, and it's going to tilt the top. Pay attention to the top of the van. It's going to tilt the top of the van towards that side quite a lot, so you don't want to be close to a wall because you're going to bump into it. Tip. Right, let's get the ramps out. Okay, so I've got the ramps in line with the wheels, but I'm on my own, so I can't see this side of the van. So a bit of another tip for you: I quite often go away on my own and need to level up the van, and the way I've found it's easiest to do this is to use a stick or some long object. I quite often use an umbrella. So I'll go and get the umbrella and I'll show you how this works. So we've got an umbrella, everyday item in the van, obviously. So what I'm trying to do is I need to get this part of the wheel, the centre at the bottom of this wheel needs to be at the centre of the top rung of the ramp. Okay, so I know that I need to move the van so that the top edge, the tip of this umbrella is going to be level with there, and the bottom of the wheel at the moment is here. So if I put this umbrella at the driver's side, underneath the driver's front wheel, so that this part of the handle here is at the bottom of the wheel, then I know that when I get the wheel at the driver's side to the point where it is next to, or the bottom of the wheel is next to that point, I'll know that I'm at the top of the ramp at this side. Hope that makes sense. I'll try and show you. So I'm going to mark it with my thumb. I'm going to move this around to the other side. So, wrong way around. So I'm putting that at the bottom of the wheel, at the point where I marked it with my thumb, and I'm going to drive the van until the bottom of the wheel is level with the end of the umbrella. So, there you go. So we are now on the top of the ramp with the front wheel. We're also at the top of the ramp with the back wheel, which gives us a nice healthy amount of space underneath the van. You see what I mean about how it tilts? If you had a wall near that, you could easily catch the wall with the top of the van. Okay, just for safety, a couple of chocks. just a good measure. Right, so we're going under the van, and that's the waste tank. So this circular bit here is an inspection hatch cap thing, so we'll take that off and then we'll be able to see inside and hopefully be able to see those depth probes. Now, because we've drained the water, but there's still going to be a little bit of water in here, and there's going to be some water actually in this cap, so just so that you know. You don't want your face underneath it when that comes off. Okay, so I've put a little motion sensitive light in a bag in here just so you can see. I'm going to have to put the camera on its side because it won't fit through the hole. But that is the temperature probe. I keep calling it a temperature probe. That there is the depth probe. And I know from last time I cleaned this that those probes are supposed to be purple. So clearly they're dirty and they need a clean. So it's just a matter of being a bit of a contortionist and reaching in with a sponge and some washing up liquid and just cleaning those probes. Okay, so now you can see we've got some nice purple probes, reasonably clean. Hopefully that will put us on till next year. So this is the light I've been using. It's I've just put it inside a bag that some fruit came in, just to keep the muck off it really. Better bags are available, but those lights are what we put in the cupboards, so when you reach into a cupboard the light turns on. We've got a few of those dotted around the van. I'll put a link in the description for those as well. They're quite useful. When it comes to putting this cap back on, obviously we can tip this water away first, but just give the bottom edge of this a bit of a clean and give the seal in the bottom of here a bit of a clean as well, because if you don't, then what will happen is the water will drip from the bottom of the van, so you'll have a drip until you empty your waste, which doesn't look very pleasant for anybody else seeing what you're doing. On a campsite you never really want to see people's waste dripping underneath, so we'll just make sure that's nice and clean so that it creates a good seal underneath there. Okay, so nice clean-ish drain cover. So I'll put this back on and then we'll be done. Make sure it's nice and tight, you don't want it coming off. Right, job done. Now, can you do me a favour? I've crawled under the van for you to help you clean this. It'd be great if you could subscribe to the channel. We've got lots more stuff to help you with your van. So if this is useful to you, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel for more. That'd be great. Thanks guys, see you in the next one.